And here's the crazy thing about drug. I mean, we are, at least in this hemisphere, we are the prime consuming market. So
Yeah, it's
there's
true.
that debate. Okay, this is what's crazy. Okay, so a lot of people put it on us. They blame us for
Blame us
the
as being the consumers.
being the consumers. They're blaming the consumers for the whole situation. If we didn't consume it, they wouldn't sell it to us.
True.
That people say that all the time, right? So it's funny they demonize the U.S. consumer for the actions of the cartels. It's like okay. Here's the thing, though.
Just because I'm consuming it and you selling it, that don't make you wrong and me right. We both wrong.
You're both wrong, but here's the thing, though. Okay, as business people, okay,
Mm,
let's talk about us as business people.
okay.
Okay, so I have owned bars, right?
Mm,
Okay, I've owned establishments that sell alcohol. Okay, um, part of the reason why I chose to own an establishment that sells alcohol is my product's addictive,
yep.
right? So I want to sell something that people want, right? And thing is this, it's a legal product, okay?
True.
Do people in my old bar, did they consume too much of it? Definitely, right? They consumed way more alcohol than they should be consuming, right? In the Philippines, we don't cut you off. You can die of alcohol poisoning in the bar and it's okay.
Hmm.
Okay, we're safe. Okay, it's all on them. If you choose to drink that much and you hurt yourself, that's your fault. Okay,
Hmm.
they don't. It's not like America. America blames the bar, right? So if I had my
True.
bar here and you drank in my place and you crashed your car somewhere else, you could sue me for over serving, right? Not the same in other countries.
No.
Okay, we don't. We make people take responsibility, right? I'm a business owner. I want to sell as much alcohol to you as I possibly can, right? It's your job to
Win.
cut off when you need to know when, right?
Right.
Okay. And that might be a harsh way to look at it, but that's how I look at it. Okay.
Right.
People got to have, I mean, it's like you keep ordering. Do I know that you're drunk? I mean, like, it's going to cost me way too much to maintain a monitoring system, right? Because when people order from us, they're ordering for entire tables. It's not one person buying a round for himself. And in the Philippines, you buy round. Everybody takes rounds, takes turns buying the table rounds. Right, that's
Yeah.
the way it works.
But that's why it's hard. Like bars are like, man, it's an ethical
It
situation.
is. It's
Like
an ethical dilemma.
it's an ethical dilemma because like it's hard. Like I know alcoholics, right? I know people where it's like alcohol really does affect their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not a person who, or I'm about to go hit the bar today. I'm not that type of person. So that's why it's like it's kind of hard for me to kind of like kind of get on the level of thinking of a person who does do that. Um, but when you really put it in a way where it's like who do you blame or who's in the wrong, the consumer or the owner? Because I've been in situations where it's like, okay, I'm giving this person too much. How do you tell somebody like that no?
Yeah, and
Because it turns
also,
into a problem.
how do you know? Everybody varies. What is too much?
Yeah, no, that's true. Like I, I've only like crazy. I've only been in a situation once, and we only selling wine and spirits,
Yeah.
where it's just like, okay, I don't gave this person like 3 bottles, and it's like only two of them there, and it done turned up. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, if they ask me again, what am I about to say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then next thing you know, they're stumbling out this thing.
Dude, have you ever tried not serving somebody who wants to be served? They really adamantly want to be served.
They will adamantly want to be served. They say they're okay, and it turns into an argument when you're telling them no.
See, but it's a different story. It's a totally different story in America because there's rules about that. There's definitive laws about that in the U.S. Bar. See that's why the bar business here is suffering
Yeah.
because they're more concerned about restaurants, food service. I mean, like the business is not serving food,
Mm,
right, or serving alcohol. It's hospitality. Showing, I mean, people having a good time is your business. right? In the U.S., they've changed things and they made it so that that's not really. A lot of these places, they make it their business getting in other people's business, right? They're more concerned about how drunk are you than about if you're having a good time, right? Like, so it's almost like the bar becomes the bar owner, the bar people working establishment become like the fun police. You can't have too good of a
Mm-hmm.
time in my bar, because, oh man, this is getting out of hand. You're having too good of a time. That's not the way it used to work. It's not, and that's not the way it works in other countries. That's the way it works here now.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh
But
man, you've had enough. I'm cutting you off. That's not how things used to be.
but who's returning on that?
What
That's
do you
not a
mean?
return customer.
What's that?
You've had too much fun. I got to turn you away. No one's coming back for that.
Well, that's
That
the problem.
appearance is bad.
When you have limited choices, they're coming back. I mean, like, if you're the only place in town, or if every place is like that, right? That's why Americans go so wild when they go to, like, the Philippines, or then when they go to Mexico, because people there know how to have a good time, right? Mexico, Americans go buck wild because things are different. Okay, but okay. So once more, come back to that. Okay, so I've run a business where I am serving a a liberating product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have all sorts of promotions trying to get you to come in and experience my hospitality. I
Yep.
want you to experience my hospitality. I'm going to serve you an awesome time. You're gonna alter your mind the way you want to with this alcohol. Because I
Mm-hmm.
only served alcohol. Well, of course, it's a restaurant too, but I didn't. Drugs are verboten in the Philippines. That's like a life sentence or a death sentence. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you don't mess with that. Okay, no one can deal on my premises. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
period. Okay, because I don't need that kind of heat. Okay,
I get it.
so do you blame do you blame the consumer? Do you blame so these cartels, right? They see this consumer market in the U.S. that's ripe for their product. They're business
Mm-hmm.
people, right? They're gonna try to distribute that product, get people wanting it, and then fulfill that demand. Right? It's
Mm-hmm.
a business. It really is a business. Okay, so it's a business. But the difference is it's an illegal business, right? So here's the question. Okay, the war on terror, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, there is a war on drugs, but it's not the same. Okay, the war on drugs is more of a hearts and minds thing.
Yeah.
It's more of an education thing. It's more of a trying to make it a stigmatic thing that you can't do drugs. It's like, oh, you're some burnout loser if you do drugs. And they're trying to tell people that they shouldn't be doing drugs, right? It's all about trying to quell the consumer, right? But, I don't blame the consumer, okay, so much as I blame the provider of it, the cartels, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
actively trying to get the consumers to consume that product. It's a business. It really is a business. So they're trying to get out there, and so they're using whatever means they can to market their product. Okay, whether it's when a drug dealer rolls around, he's new. It's like it's all just, especially if the product is like is cutting edge. It's different. It's all about samples. They give shit out to give people a taste, right? Let them know,
Right.
hey, this is what's happening now. Check this out. Okay, people try it and they come back for more if they like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just good business. Okay,
Right.
so can the U.S. wage a real war on drugs? Which is what I guess Trump is starting to do now.
That's what Trump is doing. The only thing is like that one I kind of still side eye, right? Because once again, it's the same type of setup. It's just like the war on terror, right? We have this threat. Terror, drugs, or cartels. I guess it's the war on cartels, right?
Yeah,
Is now this is connected to the same thing. Another oil rich nation, right? So you got another oil rich nation that is providing something that we're scared of, and you're attempting to go to war with it. I kind of side eyed it because it's like, man, I know you're not telling me all the truth. I already know you're not telling me everything. You know what I'm saying? You're only presenting this one side. You're presenting that okay, this guy is not like he's talking about Maduro. He's presenting that Maduro is not an actual president. This guy is a narco president. Like he
Okay.
has pretty much achieved what Pablo Escobar wanted to do. Be a drug dealer that became the president of the country.
Okay.
That's what they're portraying that Maduro is. So when I see pictures of Maduro and see stuff from Maduro's side, it looked like he's actually the president of this country, and then like everybody running with it. And it's like if America want problems, come and get it. And I'm just like, it's not. That's not going to work well. Him blowing up boats off the coast. All right, do that. You know what I'm saying? What Maduro going to do? You know what I'm saying about you blowing up the boats. Go if you're going to go and do something where they can't get the drugs out, and you're going to scrutinize their trade. Okay, I can get that because we think that you're selling drugs. But a war with Venezuela, I'm totally against that,
Okay.
bro.
So let's talk beyond Venezuela. Okay. So
Uh,
let's imagine for a second, because no matter where it comes from,
mhm.
where does it pass through?
What the Darien Gap is that what it's called?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, like no matter where it
It's going to
comes
pass
from.
through Mexico. That's what you're trying to
Yeah.
say?
So that's the choke point, right?
Yeah,
It has to come through Mexico somehow,
yeah.
right? Okay.
And the Mexican president, which I like, and a lot of people say this is a pawn. She was put in there by the cartels.
Potentially. But
I think she
but here's
was.
this. Here's this, okay? So you know that the US doesn't have to be in a declared war to be taking military action of a sort,
Mm-mm.
right?
They already taking military action. They
Well, no,
flying
no, no.
people.
What I'm saying is there's military action that we're seeing, and then there's other forms of military action we never see.
Oh yeah, he's put the CIA.
Okay.
He sent the CIA to Venezuela.
So CIA operations, I mean, who knows what's going on with that, right? But
Hmm.
CIA operations can be happening anywhere,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I think they already happened. I
It's
mean,
happening like, but if they want to, they can, they can increase their manpower dramatically when they need to,
mhm,
right? There's all sorts of contractors that they can use, that we never know about.
right.
Okay, so if they really really wanted to, okay, they could be taking action on the Mexican cartels.
Hmm.
Okay, they could do that if they wanted to. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about it is completely covert. No one will ever know. Okay, that's I forget what they're called now. They used to be called special activities. They, they, they,
What?
they used to be called special activities division. They're called something else now. Special act. They're called something. I can't remember what they're called.
Mhm.
Okay. They used to be consultants and they would train foreign militaries. That's what they
Mhm.
used to do. Okay. The earlier versions of that were the people who trained the people for the Bay of Pigs invasion. Not a good idea.
Mhm.
Bay of Pigs invasion is the Cubans who tried to invade Cuba again,
Yeah.
and it got botched. And yeah,
Mhm.
but they trained. They trained with our people. Okay.
Really.
Yeah, that's why we got in trouble. We trained them.
Mhm.
We trained them. We armed them. We had intel. We sent them in, and it was all wrong. And they got massacred at the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But special activities has evolved since then. They are like they're some of the most effective fighting. I guess you'd call them what do they call them nowadays. What they call them? They call them war fighters.
Mhm.
There's some of the most effective. They're all older. There's no young
Oh,
people in there. So when you look at special operations, special forces, you'll see a fair number of young people, led by a fair number of middle-aged people.
yeah.
Right? These guys are all middle-aged and older, for the most part. These are people who have spent a long time on teams and other special operators, and they're now working for these guys.
Mhm.
Right? And they're good. I mean, there's no doubt of their experience. They're some of the most experienced fighting force you've ever seen, right? And
Mm,
they have very little moral boundary. Okay.
yeah,
So sending them and those who they work with on a war on drugs could be extremely effective.
it could.
But the
I
question
mean,
is, why don't they do it? I mean, like, why isn't that happening to begin with? If it could happen, why isn't it happening?
who says it's not happening?
Well, no, I mean, like, no, we would know because there'd be a dramatic decrease, right?
Hmm.
So then now comes more conspiracy, right?
Yeah,
One would argue that we need this conflict to be happening.
because they got the oil.
Well, no, I'm not talking Venezuela. I'm talking about drugs as a whole. We
Oh
we
yeah,
need a bad guy,
need a bad
right? We
guy.
need a bad guy, right? I mean, why do the conservatives keep talking about porous borders? Like they make a stink about it because there's people flooding in, right? What happens if there weren't people? Like, what if the borders were loose and open, but no one was coming in?
We wouldn't have our country ain't that valuable if that was
Right? Think
happening.
about it. I mean, like, and what are the people coming in? See, because they complain about the people coming in who are criminals, right? What
Mm.
if that was? What if fentanyl wasn't flooding our cities through the open borders? What if that
Mm.
wasn't happening? Like,
Then we'll probably have a more of a case for having open borders.
well, we wouldn't have much to complain about, right? There wouldn't be that big thing that we be the right wouldn't be complaining about it, right?
No,
What if we effectively smashed the cartels and suddenly there was no drug trade happening, right? The guys on the right use that as an excuse for a lot of things,
right.
right? We almost need the conflict.
No, it's true. I think that's just what, like, it kind of goes back to our original thought. Like, if you let something happen, you achieve a goal. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You achieve a goal that either it helps you expand, it helps people get money, because it's a lot of people who make a lot of money off of war. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
From
and think about
all
this.
areas.
There's a lot of people who make a lot of money off treating these people who are addicted to these illicit drugs. There's a
True.
there's a huge there's a huge industry dealing with addicts.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like when I like people don't like to talk about Biden's presidency, but I feel like it was the worst. Remember, he was selling them crack pipes. I feel like I feel like a lot of that was manufactured. I don't like, you can't tell me that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because it just all of a sudden it just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, it was like Trump goes and builds the wall, or whatever. Next thing you know, Biden gets in and all these illegal immigrants came in, and it was no reason why they needed to come here.
Mm.
You just let them come in here. I truly feel that the cartels have gotten that much powerful and have that much money where they can buy U.S. politicians. Like, that's why when people talk about, oh, we want to do this for illegal immigrants, I think either a cartel might be in your pocket. I
Mm.
really think so. I can't, like, when people say that, I don't like, I question them instantly.
Well, let's look at that Biden president. I mean, like, at what point was he incapacitated? I mean, at what point was he not in control of his faculties?
Shoot, after he fell the first time, we knew he wasn't there.
Dude, but how far before that was it? I mean, like, so think about it. At what point was he this old doddering dude that other people were signing his checks? I mean, like, you guys know that there's this whole like industry where people take advantage of the elderly, right? Okay.
Yeah,
At what point was Biden that dude whose son was collecting his social security and spending it?
I think probably instantly, as soon as he got there. I think him going against Trump was them like taking abuse of the elderly, because at the end of the day, I'm I'll blame myself because I was a little bit ignorant to it. I felt like Joe Biden was a capable candidate. Like, I still remember when Joe Biden gave it to Paul Ryan in the debate when Obama, when I forgot who was going, was it Mitt Romney, think Mitt Romney was going up against Obama, and I've seen that with my own two eyes. He gave it to Paul Ryan,
Dude, but
and
remember, at that point he was a vice president.
but he was a vice president. But even he started showing the signs. Then I still remember, I thought it was cool, but I didn't think. Oh well, he was an old man. He had to do this. He had a notepad. He had a notepad and was writing down notes, and then hitting them with the notes. Where I'm like, oh, he needed a little help. I didn't think about it like that. Then coming to where he had to go up against Trump, people are still thinking like, oh, he used to be the vice president under Obama. You know what I'm saying? He is competent to do this, and I think he got by and got finesse. I don't think he was competent at all
So
during the whole
you
thing.
think that Biden was already sliding even before he was elected president?
Even before he was elected, I think he was sliding the whole entire
So
time.
okay, so you believe that Biden was sliding as a vice president?
Not as a vice president. I think he was sliding as going up against Trump.
Well,
I
no.
think.
Remember, you had said earlier that you felt that.
Oh yeah. I felt like he was sliding, but it was like a functional type slide.
Okay,
He wasn't being taken advantage
but
of.
think about this though. Okay, so if you believe that's where the slide had begun, that's when he's vice president.
Yeah.
Remember, 4 years went by
4 years passed.
between that moment and hitting and running against Trump.
Actually, it might have been 8. Because remember, I'm saying he during the debates. This was like when they trying to get reelected. He did this to Paul Ryan, who became the Speaker of the House.
Okay.
He did that, and I remember I was like, dang, I never knew who Joe Biden was, but Joe Biden, that guy. Then he had another 4 years. Then we have Trump's 4 years. So it was 8 years that passed that. I'm like, I'm not gonna say I voted for Biden, but I'm just saying like when Biden got in, I did have a certain perception. Well, he's still that guy from 8 years ago, even though it was kind of off. I didn't think it had gotten worse.
Hold on. Now I'm okay. So Quentin, run it through. It goes Obama. Then who's after? Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
President?
Yeah,
I had it listed up here. Hang on, let me
I'm
look.
embarrassed now because because this stuff is happening so hard and fast. Because Biden only had a single term. Remember, Biden after Obama it went straight to Trump.
Yeah, it went to Trump. That's what I'm saying.
So okay, so Biden as vice president was sliding in coming that second
I think
term,
he was
right?
sliding because he was using a notepad during the
Yeah,
debate.
so that debate was happening when he was trying to get reelected. So there's 4 more
Yeah.
years of Obama,
Yep.
and then there's 4 years of Trump.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it was
That's
8 years.
8 years.
I never thought of. I like as
Yeah.
I'm having this conversation, I didn't really think about it.
Dude, and when a person's in cognitive decline, 8 years is an eternity.
Okay.
Right? You can really slide a long distance in 8 years. So you're saying that there's a possibility in your mind that dude, because the only okay, so if you really think about it, the only reason why he won, okay, let's get controversial. The only reason why Biden won against Trump after Trump's first term was because of just the level of controversy that they threw at Trump in his first. I mean, like, if they
was a lot
hadn't
of
tried to
controversy.
impeach his ass multiple times,
Yep.
Biden would not mean like. Basically, he stepped into the office, and I think it's weird enough. Dave Chappelle said it best on SNL when he came up to host after Trump won. Right.
Right.
His thing was, let's give the guy a chance. That's what he said.
Right.
He's like, let's give this guy a chance. And like he's stepping in, let's give the guy a chance, right? Which he got shit for. Right? But the thing was that they didn't. The second he stepped in, it was just full on attack mode. Like it was not business as usual. Everybody, every senator, every Democratic senator and congressman, their entire goal was to essentially, and I don't want to use the word because YouTube won't like it. The goal was to C-block Trump
Yeah.
and not let anything. Let's let him not get anything done. Was number one goal. Number two goal.
That's what they're
impeach him.
doing now. They have a whole shutdown.
Yeah, yeah. So the whole
They
thing
didn't
is,
do that. They didn't do that the whole time Biden was president. And remember, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything. Like everybody, those legislations that came up were people taking advantage of. Remember, men were playing women's sports. Like it was crazy when, like, man,
Yeah,
it was just like a year ago. It was kind of wild.
and
It
it's
was
funny.
immigrants everywhere.
That's something that most people can agree on. I mean, like I've talked to every reasonable person I've spoken to can agree. I mean, like both sides of the aisle. That's the one thing, and I don't know why the heck it's such. Why is this still a thing? Why is it still happening? Every reasonable person I've talked to, and I have not talked to anybody unreasonable so far. Nobody I've spoken to has disagreed about the men and women's sports thing, right?
No,
Some of the most liberal people I've spoken to, they kind of when that comes up, they roll their eyes. They're like, "Oh man, how come it has to keep coming back to that?" Because that makes liberal people look crazy.
look, a war broke out between Russia and Ukraine under his watch. We had an egg shortage. We ended up having a like almost a recession. We had higher tax rates because we were paying for the war in Ukraine and Russia. We had mass immigration, and the immigrants was getting free money from us. Where does that happen in the world? And you telling me that he was better than Trump? Like
Yeah,
you lying to me? That's what I'm saying. A lot of that stuff is manufactured. People are in an echo chamber where Trump, Trump, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. Where it's like, calm down. He hasn't even really did nothing really
yeah.
bad.
Now,
Even like, huh?
now, of course, we got to put it out there. We're not saying that just because we're complaining about the Trump bad thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that Trump's all good,
Trump ain't the greatest
right?
president in the world, but he ain't that freaking
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, there have
You
been
know what I'm saying?
worse.
I would just say, like, one of the things that he's highly scrutinized. The
Yes.
stuff, if Biden was doing the same thing, nobody would say nothing.
Mm.
If Biden was like, we're going to do tariffs, nobody would say nothing.
Yeah. I think
Nobody would say
the
nothing.
thing about the Trump presidency is that, this is kind of weird to say, it's a presidency that's not afraid of taking risks.
He took a hell of a lot of
I
risks.
mean, it's a presidency that's not afraid to ask the question, can I do this? And, I mean, the thing is this, okay? All the stuff that
Build a
he's doing,
wall.
see, everything that he's doing, every single move that he makes, right? They wouldn't be able to do it, okay? I mean, like, okay, so let's say something he can't do, okay? Something he
Mm.
cannot do. What's something that the president definitively cannot do, right?
Mm. Put us into slavery
Yeah,
because
okay,
they
okay,
be
that's
saying
one thing,
that's what
but
he's
okay,
gonna
but
do.
something that he potentially would do,
That he can't.
that he can't. Okay, like
Oh, look.
let's say that like round up all the political protesters and incarcerate them.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, true,
Make protesting illegal.
yeah, true, like, true
Fascism.
fascist type shit, right? Okay, but everything he's done, there's been some sort of precedent for it, right? They
Yeah.
may have twisted a precedent around and use it in a different way to make it justify it, right? But everything he's done, they go to sue him about, okay?
Yeah.
Because like they're trying to say, yeah, what you're using as precedent wasn't meant that way, and they're trying to sue him, right? But it's not. But he wouldn't be able to do anything flat out illegal,
Man.
right? It's an edge of things, right? And that's the thing. So he takes those risks, he takes those chances. It's like, okay, let's do this, and somebody will say we can't. I mean, like, there's a precedent for it, but not in this situation, and let's do it anyway. They can sue us later, right? That's the scenario. So they do it,
Right.
and they sue them later, and sometimes it gets held up, sometimes it doesn't,
Mm.
right? Like, okay, so the Venezuela thing, ulterior motive, yes. Okay, but then
Big
again,
alternative.
dude, ulterior motives run the world, right? I mean, we
True.
want
Ulterior
something.
motives do run the world.
See, and there's the thing. See, if you are the head of a country, let's say you're the head of an oil-rich country, right? You really don't want to give any powerful nation an excuse to step in, Think about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you were the head of Venezuela, right, and the U.S. is trying to use this whole war on drugs thing as an excuse to commandeer your country,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you could get into a pissing match, a shouting match about sovereign rights, right,
Mm-hmm.
against the most powerful country in the world, right? You can try to do that,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just step back and squash that problem yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't give them an excuse to invade your country.
No.
Okay, so if you could eliminate that problem yourself, then U.S. has no reason. I mean, like, they've got no probable cause. They've got no excuse to do
Mm-hmm.
that. It's kind of like, so let's say that you're doing something illegal, right? And you get pulled over with the cop. I mean, let's say you're doing something illegal, and there's a chance you will get pulled over with the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have your paraphernalia in full view at all times, or
No.
would you stow it in a place in your car that can't be seen through the
Stolen.
windows at a traffic stop?
Stolen.
Right? Fix your problems. Like, would you, if you're transporting a bunch of weed in your trunk,
Mm-hmm.
would you check to make sure that your brake lights are all working?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Would you go out there without checking would you go out there with a faulty vehicle that they can pull over? Right? There's no reason to give them an excuse. Right? So if America is going to do a war on drugs with your country as an excuse to take you over to get your oil, eliminate the excuse.
It's
Right?
eliminate the excuse, but it's like propaganda is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, think about it. Like, man, they made us think that there was weapons of mass destruction. Man, they make us
Well,
think that Trump is the fucking devil. Remember,
well,
that's what they say on South Park.
but remember the weapons of mass destruction. That one was easy because there's no way to disprove it. Because that's the problem. They wouldn't let the inspectors in to check.
I wouldn't let no inspector in to check my country either.
Right.
Let me check your country.
Well, but remember that's
Let me
something.
see if you got weapons of
But,
mass
but
destruction.
remember
How you gonna play me?
that's something they agreed to, though. That's the problem.
Man, I
That's
would
something they
never
agreed to.
agree to that.
Right.
I would have been like, yeah, you got weapons of mass destruction. Let me see yours.
Well, but there's
All
a
right,
thing.
then you need to leave me alone.
But there's a difference.
Mhm.
We acknowledge having them.
Right.
They were not supposed to have them.
How you gonna tell me what I'm supposed to have?
What's that?
And you got it.
No, but they agreed to that. Remember,
I get it, but how you even get me to even agree? How you even come at me like that?
well, no, that's because we're us. Remember that
I get it, and I get
that's
it. No,
that's
I'm like, look, I hear what you saying, but I'm just saying from like if I was Saddam Hussein, I ain't agreeing nothing to you. This is
yeah,
my country.
that's exact. But there's a problem. Look what happened,
They came up with a reason to take over my country,
and they
and
did
then
it, and they
made
killed
me
him.
see and killed. This is the same thing they did to Libya.
Yeah,
Did it to Gaddafi.
Gaddafi.
Some people love Gaddafi.
Remember,
And then all of a sudden, oh, he's a dictator.
see,
That's why I didn't want to vote for Hillary.
remember,
Like all of a sudden, he's a dictator now.
there's those issues. I mean, all that stuff comes with they just didn't want to play ball, right? And you got to learn that you got to play ball with certain countries.
Mm.
You got to play ball with America. You can't do that with us.
I mean,
Right?
at the end of the day, that's like a very like, and at the end, I get what you're saying, but it's a very, very, very prideful thing to do, just because somebody doesn't want to
True.
deal with you.
I mean, the question, I mean, like, are we right in doing it? Heck no. I mean, like,
Hell no.
but can we? Yeah. I mean,
And guess what? They did it to Libya and they did it to Iraq. And they're trying to do it to Venezuela. That's why I don't agree. Like I don't want to listen to nothing that you're talking about when it comes to foreign affairs, especially with a country where it's like, okay, I see that they got oil and I already know what you're trying to do.
yeah.
Because this is the same play. They try to run the same play.
But remember, it's quite easy for them to, if they, I mean, it's simplifying things. But if you're running a country like that, especially in a country like that, right?
Mm,
I mean, a leader in a country like that can do a lot of things that we couldn't
yeah,
do here.
definitely
Right?
can.
So if they really wanted to make a big show out of cracking down on the outgoing drug trade, they could, right? Like the Philippines, right? I mean, like Venezuela is a country like the Philippines. The Philippines had, I mean, and this is funny because it's not something that's being debated. They're not denying
Mm.
it, right? It's
Oh,
not something that
Venezuela.
is vague at all. The Philippines had death squads running around taking out anybody involved in both ends of the drug trade.
Hmm.
It was something that happened, and
From the
something,
consumers to the producers.
yeah, dude. That's the reason why for the longest time I didn't want to go back, right?
Mm.
Because the places that I would be hanging out would be places that are just dangerous to be. I mean, like, you
Because the government can kill you.
well, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you get lumped in with the wrong crowd, right? So let's
Right.
say you're in a bar, right? And where there's alcohol, there could be other things, right?
Hmm.
And of course, people wandered into my bar all the time, high on other stuff too,
Right.
right? And did they have it on their person? Maybe. Okay, they couldn't do that shit in my place, but
Hmm.
they have it on them. I mean, like, if you happen to be in the wrong, remember these death squads were not government sanctioned. They weren't walking around uniformed, right? They may be people who wore uniforms in their daily jobs, but when they're doing this, they were extrajudicial, right?
Hmm.
So with just my luck, I mean, like hanging out at Handlebar in the Philippines, I might be there the one time where some freaking guys walks in there with like a dealing quantity of something,
Hmm.
right? And when that goes down, who knows? I mean, like, no one may be walking out of that bar alive,
That's crazy.
right? So you just don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So
Mm-mm.
they actually start shooting.
Yeah, dude, they would find bodies dumped all the time, heads wrapped in duct tape.
What?
It prevents
Sound.
it makes cleanup easier.
Oh my
Because if you
God.
wrap it in duct tape, they're not wrapping you, so they're not killing you by suffocating you. Basically, that way the projectile enters and doesn't leave, and so there's not a lot of spray. I mean, that it
Oh,
makes it.
all over drugs.
Yes,
I mean,
dude. And the thing is that so we talk about this, and we look at this from a U.S. perspective,
yeah,
but highly intelligent, law-abiding Filipinos, a lot of them liked the result. A lot of
because
them liked the result. Remember, and you got to realize, a Filipino living in America, especially long term, is different than a Filipino living in the Philippines. No matter how much money or education you have. So we're
yeah,
talking like people with advanced PhDs, doctors. You talk to these people, and they over there, it's a little different perspective. The end justifies the means. A lot of these people, like
right.
people that I know, who are just highly educated, well respected people with, in positions of power over there. They liked the way it turned out. They felt it was worth it to go through that process to feel safe. Because you didn't feel safe in the streets in the past. You go there and now and dude, completely different place. Crime went from an 11 to like very manageable, right?
So say like say if the Mexican government did that, right? Like say if they made it to where if you're in a cartel where like it's
Shot
kind of
on
hard to do
sight.
that with huh?
Shot on sight, basically.
Shot on sight, right? But the only thing is like a lot of people who are a part of cartels are coerced in the cartels. Like it's like no other choice. It's either die or join the cartel. So if they made it to where
Well, the same thing in the Philippines. I mean, like a lot of these people were just dealing to exist, and a lot of these people were using because they were addicted, right?
Mhm.
But dude, you'd be surprised how fast people who were addicted tried to fight it. Like the people's families were just stepping in. Dude, it's like you knew that if your son, what we call it, we crystal meth is shabu over there. That's what they call it.
Mhm.
If your family members are shabu users, dude, the intervention. I mean, like people were actually more willing to find treatment because they knew that the government wasn't having it,
You're right.
right? So suddenly, people who would for years refuse treatment were seeking it. People
Yeah.
who were involved in the trade were not.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
couldn't. Man.
it really became a thing where, I mean, they didn't kill. I mean, obviously, you can't kill everybody involved, but they
Yeah.
killed enough of them that it's like it's a
Deterrent.
deterrent. It was a major deterrent, and that's crime changed. And you will see like regular everyday people over there. I mean, they loved what happened. I mean, to many people, the dude who did it, who is now okay, so Duterte is now being held in the Hague. So they got him. I mean, like the president, he's being held essentially for the crime that is a crime. Okay, so
Killing people.
the international the ICC, International Criminal Court, issued
Yeah.
an arrest warrant for that guy.
And where is he at now?
He's in the Hague. The Hague is the headquarters of the ICC in Europe, Netherlands, I think,
Yep.
awaiting trial. Okay, now he's old and he's sick, so he may not make it out. But there's a lot of Filipinos who want him, who basically saying that like they like
want
the
him
result
back.
and they'd vote for him. Dude, if that guy ran again, he'd win. They like law-abiding Filipinos like the result. They like the
And
safety.
that's why I feel like unless you're like North Korea and you're actually actively shooting missiles out because they ain't doing nothing about that guy, leave them people alone. Because I mean, like, of course, it couldn't happen in America. You can't send death squads to kill drug users in
Here could
America.
happen.
That
Yeah, yeah.
and here it wouldn't happen because it's like it's too many people who do drugs. Even politicians do drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, dude, there were politicians. I mean, like they killed. Dude, there were some prominent people who died during that purge.
yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it couldn't. I couldn't see it happening anywhere else. Now, say the only place where I can think where it can happen, where I that would be interesting. Like, say if Mexico was like, all right,
Dude, Mexico could do it. Mexico could do it. I mean, any South American country could do it.
but it's just like think about it. Like that's why I was saying like it'll be hard because it's like there's people who are coerced into cartels where it's like, dang, you gonna kill him? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little kid. Like he didn't want to do this. He was forced into this. You know what I'm saying? Like they have people that are part of cartels that are like that, but they like you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, I mean, they're like pawns in the whole scenario, and it's like you got to knock off all the pawns like that. There and like I hate just calling them pawns like that because it belittles their actual humanity.
Well,
It's
here's
like
the
you,
thing, though. Well, see, it's coming. So a lot of people involved in it. They see when it began to happen.
hmm
Okay, people just dropped out of the business. Right?
Sure.
They just, I mean, they said, I mean, you can't fight it. I mean, like see it'll be different in Mexico. Mexico will be different. Okay.
yeah, Mexico like those cartel people will fight back.
Yes, they will, and it'll be a real war, right?
Be a war.
In the Philippines, yeah, the drug cartels are pretty powerful, but not like Mexico.
They stopped it before it got like Mexico
Yeah, and
because
remember,
it can get like
and a
Mexico.
lot of the people running it are foreigners. Because remember, it's
Oh.
an island nation. We don't manufacture squat there. It's coming in
Oh,
from China. It's coming in. Everything that's there is being imported.
oh, so it's coming from China and places like
Yeah,
India.
yeah. So you have a bunch of foreigners, a lot of them are Chinese nationals who are running these things, right?
Mhm.
So they're being I mean, in the past you'd capture them and deport them, right? And they'd come back because it's an island. You can land on a boat. The guys you get rid of will always come back and start things up again. This time we just killed them,
Oh,
right?
like you're killing citizens from another country.
Oh, and our country. I mean, like anybody involved. And the thing is that the way they're targeting them really is random. They'll get word that okay, there's a drug dealer that hangs out here, right? They don't know. They're not sending undercover people in to figure out the organizations, and they're not targeting. So it's not like Raymond is the drug kingpin here, and we're targeting Raymond and his crew. No, they don't even know who you are, right? All they know is they have intelligence that there's some dude who sells in this corner. They'll show up and wait around. Okay, if they don't get you, they don't get you. But if they randomly run across you,
You
that's when they
get
get you, right? So it's not
Yeah.
like they're busting into drug dens and headquarters. They're getting people on sidewalks, right? So if You just happen to be exchanging a baggie with somebody for pesos, and they see you. Yeah, you're done. You're both done, right? That's the way that it worked out. So it wasn't like they were running these massive intelligence raids.
Yeah.
It was really circumstance. I mean, like, it's just it's random that they and that's why you don't want to. So they'll bust into a club looking for something happening. That's why you really it was unsafe to be somebody looking for a good time over there during that period of time,
Yeah.
because you may be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then you're going to turn up with your head wrapped up in duct tape.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because I mean, like, I guess the humane thing, and even though it is inhumane, is what they like how they do it in El Salvador. Like they put them in the like those maximum security inhumane prisons.
Some
Like,
gulag.
yeah, they were putting like I guess they were doing that with the gang members, and
Oh,
like,
dude, the Philippine. Have you seen, dude, Quentin? You should look up these videos. Okay, so this was going viral for a while in early YouTube.
mm,
Where, okay, so in the Philippines, prisoners don't have their own cells. They don't even have like four guys to a cell.
it's like
It
hundreds.
literally looks like freaking rats in a cell. People like piled up on top of each other, like, laundry hanging every. It's freaking insane, right? Okay,
Right.
so you can look this up. Look up Thriller Filipino prison. So what happened was is the wardens wanted to make a viral video for YouTube.
Oh, they
Mm.
made him dance,
They
huh?
made him dance. Thousands of prisoners doing this whole Michael Jackson Thriller thing. And they had like two people playing the lead characters. There was a Michael Jackson and there was his date. And they were reenacting the whole music video. Okay? And so people watch it and it was funny to watch. It was crazy, right? They had the music playing and it was insane how they all had the choreography down. Okay? But
Mm.
what you don't see is them making the prisoner do this, right? They're beating them if they make mistakes. This isn't something the prisoners wanted to do. This wasn't something that the prisoners said, let's make a viral video. No, the wardens made it so that they had to do these things. And
Mm.
if you didn't do it right, or you weren't giving it enough gusto, they beat you. The end
Mm.
product is insane, right? But yeah, a Filipino prison is not someplace you want to be.
No.
Was that the only place they did it, that Thriller thing?
Okay, they did it in a couple places down there.
Because I seen that,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
wild.
didn't know they got beat though.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's compulsory. That's not voluntary. They didn't
And it's
want
a
to.
man that plays the lady.
Yeah,
It's
they
not.
did not want to do that. They did not want to do that stuff. They were forced to do it. Thousands of them. That's how they run things there, right? But yeah, so I mean, Mexico could do it. Mexico could do a cartel war. They could, but it's gonna be a bloody cartel war because the cartels are super powerful there.
Yeah, and they'll at like the cartels will start killing innocent people.
Oh, they already do. The thing about the reason why they're so powerful is because remember, the cartels in the Philippines are supplying product to this tiny nation, right? This little tiny, the Mexican cartels are basically collecting toll on product passing through Mexico to America. Dude, it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry versus the Philippines is essentially nothing, right? So yeah, Mexico could do a cartel war. They could,
Hmm.
but it's going to be super bloody, right? It's going to be crazy. It's going to, and the Philippines, there were politicians involved in the trade, right? Thing was, is that if you dropped, I mean, when everything started going down, if you just hands up and walked away from it, you're safe, right? They weren't going after known drug traffickers who fled,
Hmm.
right? So I remember a good friend of mine was a police chief over there. He was a colonel. So the Philippine police constabulary, the PNP, the Philippine National Police, their ranks are the same as military. You have generals and colonels. Okay, so my really good friend was a colonel. And after I lost, I mean, like after I left there, he ended up becoming the chief of police for a whole city, a city
Mm.
called Pasig, and he was inheriting a bunch of problems. And there wasn't, and he had to retire in disgrace because there was an auto accident that an entire wall of a city facility came crashing down, like a police facility came crashing down,
Hmm.
and there was a freaking Shabu distribution factory running out of there.
Out of the wow.
Yep. And it was something he was just barely stepping in. So all this stuff has been in place right now. Him stepping in as chief of police, that's the thing. There's not much he could have done about that. I mean, he would try to do something, right? But that's money, right? So if he tried to do something, he'd probably be killed. Okay, by his own underlings who are running that show, right?
So you mean the guys that he was in charge of were in charge of that,
The
and
drugs,
that's why
yeah. The
it's so
cops were running the
close.
drugs, yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Here's the thing, though.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Here's
Like,
the thing. If what Duterte did, President Duterte, if what he did, and that was probably still going on, right?
mm,
Those guys, once it started to happen, right? Because they know that they're not safe from this guy. Okay, they're untouchable in their own city, right? But not anymore, right? Now that they have this guy in charge, and they're bringing in teams to do this, right? They're not safe. So those guys pretty much let go of the business. They said, "Screw it, I'm out." Right?
right.
Like destroyed product, hands up. It's over. We're done. We can't do this, right? Because they're touchable now, right? So
Mm,
that's what happened to that country. So enough people were taken out. I mean, a lot of people were killed in this war. A lot of people. Okay, we can't even really call it a war, right? They were killed in that purge, right?
mm,
A lot of people. Okay, but the net
yeah.
result, many Filipinos were happy with it. Many Filipinos were happy with it.
And I can see that because I mean this conversation is really making me really think like really a lot of crime and impoverishment because we were just having like a certain conversation about that. It's really bought on about from drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, like, and it's like
Yep.
you'll be surprised what people will do, and the how you'll manipulate people who are around you to do certain things. I'll like if there was no drugs in South Central Los Angeles, this might be a utopia.
And it's surprising though. I mean, like it's surprising what the threat of a death squad can do. I
What
mean,
I like?
it's
I'm one of those people. I would. You came with me. Oh yeah, and it was like even if you smoke weed, we'll kill you. No weed.
yeah,
Like catch you smoking anything, we'll kill you.
right.
I
All
hate
right.
burning paper.
Because remember, a lot of these countries have these rules. I mean, like okay, in countries like Thailand, and we've seen movies about this, right? Where people were foreigners were arrested and given like life sentences for having like a little bit of weed on them when they entered the country.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff happens in those countries.
Yeah.
They don't
It
they don't play
happened to
with
Brittany. It happened to Brittany Griner
yeah, they
when
don't
she was
play.
going over to Russia.
Yeah, they don't play in those countries. I mean, like and
Yeah.
what's crazy is that as the West, we you should know the rules before you go somewhere.
You should.
I mean, you got to know the rules before you go
That's
somewhere.
why I don't like like ignorance is not an excuse.
Yes.
I will always remember that is not an excuse.
Yeah. And so I mean, like we seek to impose our Western standards and ideals on other people's countries,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, like the whole Kathy Lee Gifford using child labor, and she
Yeah.
got canceled effectively canceled because of it.
Mm.
Child labor is not illegal in the country that she was using it in.
Not illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you think as
Here.
an American.
As an American, it's like, oh, we can't support someone using child labor. It's like that's most of the labor in that country. It's
Yeah.
like that's how these people put food on the table.
Cool.
Their children work.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. How you gonna get mad at me for going helping out this poor country?
Yeah, she's
My dollars go further there.
she was a big employer there. I mean, like, oh, I mean, like, and you're telling me as a business owner, I have to manufacture here, where people are paid crazy amounts of money, and my products are gonna suddenly skyrocket. And I mean, it's
Profit margin is
it's
gone.
completely legal to manufacture things in China
Hmm.
or in somewhere in South America. Completely
Mm.
legal, right? People do it all the time. And it's like, and you're gonna tell me that I have to manufacture in the U.S. and pay these labor prices, or you're gonna have to tell me I have to pay people in foreign factories U.S. wages? It's like why would I pay these factory workers in these other countries U.S. wages?
Mm,
It doesn't make any sense, right? But the only reason why you're able to do that in a foreign country is because you're a big enough business that you need to do it, and that country is benefiting from your business,
right.
right? Are you taking away U.S. jobs? Not really,
No.
because you would have never had them here in the first place. I mean,
Never had them here in the first place.
it would be different if it was competitive, right? I mean,
Mm,
like if they were charging a little bit less than us, and that's why we're going there. That's a different story. Yes, they're taking away U.S. jobs, but the difference in labor is so stark that I never would have even considered manufacturing here, right?
yeah. I don't.
Right. Anyway, but that we can't impose our view on a foreign country like that,
Yeah. No,
right?
I get. That's why I bring up the whole, like, how you gonna come to me talking about you can't have weapons of mass destruction? You got them, man. You better get up out of here talking to me like that. And look what happened. And it's the same thing with Libya. I don't live with Gaddafi. I don't know how that happened. They came up with a whole bunch of propaganda to make that happen. Sad.
Gaddafi. How else we did that? We went that route with. There's a lot of people that we went that route with.
There's a lot of people who went that route with. Argentina, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's kind of endless, but it's like that's why I side eye it. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, like anytime they're like, oh, they're doing this, man, please get up out of here with that.
I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying? I'd rather you focus on what we got going on here.
I don't want to say side eye it. I guess I know why they're. I mean, like it's better to know why they're doing it, and it's like,
I mean, but the only thing is like it is kind of a threat to have a president that sells drugs, where his export is like drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like I can and the thing about it, it's like, okay, well, how you gonna say that? And like Mexico exports tequila. You know what I'm saying? Drugs is a little bit different.
yeah, drugs is
You know
different. I mean, but does the president of Venezuela is he directly involved in the trade? Who knows?
that's
I
what
mean,
they're saying.
that's what they're saying, but who knows, right?
Who
I mean,
knows? Yeah.
it could just be an excuse to make that move, right?
And that's why I look at it. But then it's like it has to be some type of truth there.
Well, I mean, like again,
It's
okay,
just the thought of a president, like how we were just talking about Pablo Escobar, right? Just imagine Pablo Escobar actually became the president of Colombia. Because,
I
I
could
mean, the
see it. I mean,
people,
like the thing is, I could see it. I mean, especially in Mexico, right, with the cartels having so much power,
Mhm.
right? You could imagine them running the show, right? You can
I
imagine
think
them.
they do run the show.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that lady who's their president, they are calling the shots for her. Because any president that is not under the influence of a cartel and knowing that, okay, we've been fighting cartels for how many years and we ain't won this battle yet, would have instantly took U.S. support and like took it, like negotiated at a right type of like, because you're supposed to just stop crime. You're
okay.
not coming in here. I'm not giving you rare earth. I'm not doing all these deals with you. You're just here to stop the cartels. That's it.
Well, let's look at this. Okay, so of course there's the there's the supply side and the demand side, right?
Hmm.
Okay. There's what happens south of the border and north of the border.
Right.
Okay. We're not supposed to be able to step into Mexico
Take
and
over.
operate there. We're not supposed to be able to do that.
Right.
Okay. The government has to allow us whatever we do there. The government has to be aware and allow us to do. Right. Okay.
Right.
But we can do stuff here.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. So let's not have death squads. Okay, because this is America, right? It can
Right.
fly here, not because we can't do it, just because the population won't accept it.
We won't accept no
Okay,
death squad.
there's enough dissent here that we couldn't accept that. Okay,
Nah, not
but
a
we
death
can
squad.
accept being tough on crime.
Yeah, but okay, we were tough on crime in the 90s, right? And with the three strikes law. And a lot of people complained about that one because yes, these people were selling drugs. And like I'm not saying that, but it did fracture the community to where we're seeing the effects of it right now. You know what I'm saying? I still remember, and it's the truth. Like it was like an episode of The Wire when one of the cops was like, "These is the crack babies." You know what I'm saying? Like we dealing with that right now.
Okay, well, okay, so let's do this. Okay, I'm not talking about. Okay, so let's differentiate. Okay,
Mm,
between the consumers and the suppliers.
right,
Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so okay, three strikes. Obviously, possession is a crime, right?
right.
Okay, but let's get beyond that. So let's talk about making it harder on those who sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, there will be people who are coerced into it, right? Okay, but just like in the Philippines and in other countries where this has happened, if you make it that, I mean, the reason why originally punishment was there, and and this would happen, right? There's the whole like, well, what's that saying, right? If you can't do the time, don't do the crime, which flips around means if you can do the time, do the crime, right? That's
Yeah.
how another way to look at it, right?
And a lot of people do the crime because they can do the
Yeah.
time,
Okay.
and they just do it in a smarter way.
Yeah, they write it. I mean, like, they evaluate what the punishment is for what they're doing if they figure it's a risk they can take, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's make it so that there's no deals, right? You're caught dealing. Maybe the punishment is severe. Maybe it's. I mean, like, there's no playing down to lower levels. I mean, like, let's make this thing pretty bad. I mean, like, yes, there will be some people who get hit with an extremely stiff punishment, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
years. Okay, there's going to be some people who are going to have to go through that, but that's going to be what may dissuade other people.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be some sacrificial lambs. I mean, some people will get a stiffer sentence than they were ever expecting, right?
Right.
Actually, the funny thing is that they're not going to get a stiffer sentence than they were expecting. They're going to get as stiff a sentence as they can expect, right? So if the maximum sentence for something is this, everyone's getting maximums, right? So like judges oftentimes will let you off with a slap on the wrist, or they'll reduce your sentence. So, okay, you seem to be a guy who can maybe turn shit around. You can get up to 20 years. I'm gonna give you X amount this, and you can get parole. Let's say that's gone. Let's say everyone who walks in is maximum. Like what happened to Diddy,
Yeah.
right? He got the max of what he was able to get.
Mm-hmm.
The judge just hit him, gave him the max. That's what happened, right?
Right.
Obviously, it's probably because the judge wasn't able to give him any sentencing on the things he beat. So the things he
Mm-hmm.
didn't beat, they gave him the max, which is entirely their prerogative. They can do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. So let's make it so that the people on the distribution side, if they're caught, they'll get the max every time. And let's say that anybody on this distribution side that's illegal, okay, instantly gets deported.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're, I mean, no matter what the level of, I mean, like you're caught with anything, you're an illegal alien caught with drugs, gone. Right. Make it harsh on those non-citizens. Caught with
Right.
drugs, gone. No matter what. Users, dealers, caught with drugs, gone. Right. Because you shouldn't even been in the first place. Right. Anybody illegal breaking any law, gone. Right. It's harsh, right? But it's going to make people think twice,
Right.
Very
right?
much.
And should they really be our problem? They shouldn't have been in the first place. Should they have been our problem in any way? No, they should not have been our problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so anybody illegal here caught in a crime, gone, right? That's one thing that can happen. Anybody, and so let's say it's an American citizen. So like say the so some of the gangs that are dealing. I mean, like what is it, MS-13, right? They're mostly U.S. citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they have obviously there's a certain degree of them that are here legally, right? But A lot of them U.S. citizens. Okay. Right. So they're all getting maximum punishments. Anybody caught's getting maximum punishments. Anybody caught who's illegal is gone.
Mm.
And they're put on some sort of international database, so that we can try, so that we know who they are.
Right.
Right. Make sure they don't come back in. So
Yeah, they come back with a wig on.
Yeah, with a wig on, or they come back as a woman. Now they're transported out, right? And our borders are more secure, so they can't get back in.
Right.
It's like you got in the first time because things were easier, right? This
Mm-hmm.
time you're getting out. We got a full dossier on you, and we're making it hard for you to get back in. Right? I mean, we got to do something about the crime here. The crime here is out of control.